ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video. Do you know what? I decided after the whole Vanguard Zombies video I made a couple of days ago and stuff like that, and I said I was going to re-download Cold War on my Xbox and play it. And do you know what? I am. You know what? I'm just going to sit here and play a game I haven't touched in months. And I mean, just looking at this, considering playing Vanguard, it just feels so alien to me. It really does. But excuse me, I'm just going to be sort of just playing through this and everything, and just seeing, like, hey, look at the difference. I mean, I look at all this, like, you know, how much time and effort that I put into this game and stuff like that. How user friendly it was, and you know, like, we look at how drastically different Vanguard was to the formula. This game was the originator for that. You know, you look at from the difference of, oh my lord, I tell you what, I haven't played on a controller in such a long time. But you think, like, obviously, you know, this change had essence with it, you know, the different perks to an extent, just the whole gameplay. I mean, even this map changed how round-based zombies will be played forever, you know. There is no level cap with this. You just go until you want to. So, and we looked at Cold War, and we were like, you know what, like, it's nothing like the original Zombies and stuff like that, and we hated this game. And I guarantee a lot of the people that hated this game are craving for it back. I'm sorry if I'm like ass at this and stuff like that. Like, playing on a controller again is so weird. But yeah, I mean, I remember when, especially when D Machine dropped, people were like, oh, you know, you can't point whore anymore, you can't do this, you can't do that. And it was like, okay, so it's something different, you know. I mean, every game brought that. You think like Black Ops 3 introduced, well, Advanced Warfare introduced the idea of jetpacks and stuff. Black Ops 3 had the Gobblegum system. Black Ops 4 went completely just like different with its perk system as well. You know, you had like the... I don't really know too much about Black Ops 4 because I didn't play it a lot, or I didn't play it at all. I hated the game. But every game like Zombies have been put out has changed the formula drastically. But I don't think the reception has been as bad as Vanguard, because it launched without the standard bearer in Zombies, which is just a round-based Zombies map. There should be nothing different about that. I mean, you don't need to change that formula. You know, the perks and stuff like that, haven't really got a problem with that and everything. You know, this game properly customized how you actually start Zombies. That people were like, remember, obviously, you used to spawn in with just a pistol. With this game, you could choose your actual loadout, and again, people thought that was maybe a bit overpowered to begin with, and then you realise it's really not. I mean, for me, it took me, I think, a solid 2 or 3 months to realise that you can actually level the guns up. And what I mean by it in terms of rarity, I remember being in a party chat with my friends, and they picked a bunch of salaries. Oh, I've just ranked my gun up to like uncommon or something. I was like, what do you mean? I mean, like, the gun, like the colours and stuff. I was like, yeah, what about it? They went, you know, you can upgrade them. And I realised I had like 10,000 salvage, and I was on like round 30 with red guns. And they're like, are you, like, do you know that? I was like, no, of course I didn't. But I look back at that now, and I'm like, but back then it was just so, I don't know how to say it, like, it was such a weird feeling, do you know what I mean? Like, and I don't know what it was, it must have been like Cold War's multiplayer was very poor, and it kind of forced me to play Zombies more. Like, I was already a Zombies person, don't get me wrong, but I was clearly going to play more of this, and I mean, because of just how poor the multiplayer was. And you know, I've realised that when I'm going through, like, if I looked at my game time played and stuff like that, it was like multiplayer I had maybe 7-8 hours played and stuff like that at one point, and then for Zombies I had like 5-6 days played because it was all I wanted to do. but I just don't feel the same with. I don't think anyone feels the same with Vanguard, because we all got suckered in, you know, that Treyarch were going to do it, you know, and it was like, I mean, don't get me wrong, the last time Sledgehammer did Zombies, it really wasn't that bad. I mean, God, World War II Zombies wasn't the worst, but it also wasn't the best, and I understand where people came from on that. Like, people didn't like it, but it was gritty, it was different. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the ever-loving hell out of it, in fact. But when they said Treyarch were going to create Vanguard Zombies, again, we got sucked in. We thought, oh, this is amazing. You know, we're actually going to have a proper Zombies game, and we're going to fall back in love with it. And how long has that lasted? You know, the moment they said they weren't going to do a round-based map, people hated it, and understandably, because that's the bare minimum you need. You know, if you think of launch maps for, let's go from Black Ops 3, for example. Launch maps you had for that, you had Shadows of Evil. You also had the Giant, which was obviously the Season Pass one. Was there one more? I can't quite remember. No, I think that was it for Black Ops 3. Black Ops 4, you had Voyage of Despair, 9, and Blood of the Dead. And then with Cold War, you had D Machine, and that was it. So we were a bit like, okay, so we've only got one round-based map, where in the last couple of games we've had at least 2. Not too much of an issue with stuff like that. And then you look at this game, or Vanguard, and it's a case of, well, you're not getting a round-based map, you're going to get a completely different change to the formula. You're going to have to complete quests and stuff, and what it then becomes is very much like Spec Ops and stuff like that. Like, you actually have to do challenges and achievements and stuff to get anywhere. And, you know, the average zombie player quite literally just wants to turn on zombies and just chill. That's all they want to do. They don't want to fuck around with, you know, completing stuff and everything. Like, it's not too much, but it's one of those things you don't have to change like for. I mean, don't get me wrong, change is always good with Call of Duty. Like I said, you know, we've gone through the jetpack era, we've gone through all that and stuff like that. You know, I would happily have a jetpack zombie game back, COD back. 100% I would. But I understand why people didn't like it, and the problem I have with this is I don't think people will ever appreciate or like in any way Vanguard Zombies. I really do. I don't think that in a year's time and stuff like that, when we've got Modern Warfare 2, people are going to be going, do you know what? I really wish I could play Vanguard Zombies. Whereas people still go out and play Black Ops 1 Zombies. I am one of those. People will go back and play Black Ops 2, Black Ops 3 and stuff like that. You know, I'm going back and playing Cold War because this is one of the first proper zombies like experiences I fell in love with. The simplicity, the difficulty factor to it. This was the first game that I actively did Easter egg hunting and Easter eggs and stuff like that with friends and completing them, going for challenges and stuff. It made me fall back in love with zombies. And in the space of a few months, because of Vanguard, I've fallen out of love with it. You know, it's just, I feel, I don't know how to feel about it. It's just, I don't know why they decided to change it. Vanguard was always going to be a game that people didn't really want. You know, people didn't want a World War II Call of Duty so quickly after we've already had a modern era COD, as well as now we then just obviously went back to the Vietnam War. You know, we didn't want to go back even further. Like, it's statistically proven that the most successful Call of Duty titles are the modern era ones. So why they felt the need to go back to World War II, in which the game, World War II wasn't a horrendous game, but it wasn't what people wanted, you know. I mean, people wanted boots on the ground after the whole jetpack era and stuff like that. I get that, but at the same time, they didn't want World War II. You know, they try. In my opinion, they jumped on the Battlefield trend because Battlefield did Battlefield 1. It was amazing. So they thought we can do that, and it monumentally failed. And that's where I'm just like, at this point now, with Modern Warfare 2 coming out next year, or this year, sorry, later this year, and we know it's going to be Modern Warfare 2. Activision and Treyarch, Infinity Ward, Sledgehammer need to quite literally just get together and be like, right, we're not going to change this anymore. Like, let's just stick to a thesis of it. You know, if Treyarch had literally just been told, you know, like, as long as your zombies is, you know, good quality and stuff like that, we'll go from there and stuff like that. Like, that's what Treyarch is known for. So they're known for zombies now more than anything. Like, their multiplayer and everything, it doesn't matter. Whereas we look at Infinity Ward and stuff like that, their games are looked at through their multiplayer. And that's why I think the original Modern Warfare did very well, because the multiplayer was fabulous. I mean, yes, there was bugs and glitches and all that sort of stuff, but it was generally well done. It was looked after, it was polished, and that's why people enjoyed it. That's why I enjoyed it. But they just need to seriously look at the state of Vanguard. And this is not Sledgehammer's fault. I seriously don't think it's Sledgehammer's fault. They are a very innovative studio, and I think they've got some big plans. Like, they wanted to try something different, it hasn't worked, and they need to just go back to the drawing board for that. You think of the 3 games that Sledgehammer have had their own access to do, so not including Modern Warfare 3, which obviously they helped create and stuff like that. The 3 games that they've had have been 2 World War II games and Advanced Warfare. So they haven't had a proper chance at doing their own modern era COD, unless you count Modern Warfare 3 in that. I don't, although they're one of the big teams in it, I don't consider that their game. Do you know what I mean? So I just want Sledgehammer to learn from what this is like, and just, you know, they can put their foot down. I mean, you know, I get the Activision devs and everything will be like, you know, like this is what our player base wants, but, you know, they don't know everything. I mean, Activision at the moment, like one of the least, you know, viable companies right now with all the harassment claims and stuff like that going on. So I just want Sledgehammer to make a COD that they are proud of, you know, and the fact that they weren't allowed to make their own zombies and stuff like that is a bit of a wind-up, in my honest opinion. Like, I feel they could have done a really good job with zombies and stuff like that. You know, did it need to carry on the storyline of this? No, absolutely not. You know, it could have happily stayed miles away from the Dark Ether storyline and stuff like that. You didn't have to continue this and everything. Just make whatever you want. And I think that's why Vanguard has been such a disappointment, because people didn't want World War II. People didn't really want a continuation of the Dark Ether story. The Dark Ether storyline had a pretty decent ending with Forsaken. You know, I mean, we didn't need to go any further than that. If you wanted to go further than that, then just wait until, I mean, it wouldn't have probably been Cold War 2, because that would have made no sense, but wait for Treyarch's next zombie game, you know? So, look, I feel for Sledgehammer, I really do, because I feel that they've been forced to, much like Treyarch were forced with Black Ops 3, they've been forced to make a COD that they didn't want to make. And if they did want to make it, then for shame, simple as that. But, yeah, I mean, will I still play Vanguard? Of course I'll still play Vanguard, you know. I've played more multiplayer probably in the past, I don't know, since I've got internet back in my place. I've probably played multiplayer more recently than I have in the past, I don't know, 6 months. Because, as I say, unless we had a big group of us playing, we weren't playing multiplayer for Cold War. We were only playing zombies, obviously, because you could only have 4 people, you were limited. So, but I enjoy Vanguard multiplayer. It's actually not too bad. It's a little bit frustrating. Don't get me wrong, but every multiplayer game is for COD. But I just hope that they do listen. I mean, I know there's another update next week for zombies, next Tuesday. What that consists of, I haven't a clue. There's been no leaks for it from what I can tell, but look, I mean, I just hope that they do change the formula to it and stuff like that, and just go back to what they know. You know, Zombies is not a difficult formula to follow. Quite literally, it's just have zombies run at you, you kill them, upgrade guns, upgrade yourself, and we'll all be good. You know, there is no difficulty factor in this, but I don't know. We'll have to see what happens and stuff like that. Like I said, I don't want zombies to die because of it, but there's been so, I mean, like I said this in the Vanguard Zombies video, is that no one, like the big zombie creators, your Noahs, your Daleks, and Tim Smith Plays, and Pizza and Waffle, no one's playing Vanguard Zombies. And how no one at Activision or Sledgehammer sees this and goes, it's a problem, when these guys are some of your biggest, like, creators for zombies. You know, there's millions of multiplayer creators, but zombies creators are a special breed because, you know, most of them have been with it since the beginning, since World at War. I came in during Black Ops 1. That was my first zombies experience. And to see, honestly, to see the game in its state now is just ridiculous. You know, you had a very simple storyline with Cold War Zombies. The Dark Eve, to an extent, yeah, it's a complicated thing, but, you know, it's an interdimensional place and stuff like that, and, you know, things can live and breathe and stuff like that in it. And eventually, you know, there's a lot of human interaction with it and stuff like that. But with Vanguard, you've got 4, like, godlike beings that used to work for, like, used to be in the army run by another big motherfucker who then, I'm guessing he's like, gets reincarnated as, I mean, I don't really know too much about this, but he gets like reincarnated as this guy called Von List during World War II, and, you know, he resurrects a bunch of zombies and tries to take over the world. I mean, is that basically the premise of Vanguard and stuff like that? Because, I mean, it does sound as far-fetched as this, but it's like, you know, what they've basically done is they gave the field upgrades a backstory, whereas you didn't need that. I mean, what is there meant to be if you did a backstory for Cold War? What, you're gonna go a Tesla Storm's gonna have a backstory? Is it gonna be an interdimensional, like, being or some shit? Do you know what I mean? It's like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, Zombies is such a simple game to create. Just, you know, have a simple map or an advanced map, stuff like that. Have some fun bits in it and stuff like that. Bish bash bosh, you're done. You know, like, the one thing it was hated for originally, and I think over time, as I've sort of progressed with this game, is the difficulty factor differences in every single map was a refreshing state. You know, you had D Machine, which was fairly simple. Firebase Z, I feel there should have been a map between D Machine and Firebase to truly let people know what they're in for, because with D Machine you had 2 bosses. You had the no, not the Manglers, hold on. I honestly forgot all the names of the maps this morning and stuff like that. You had the Megatons, I say Megatron. You had the Megatons and you had the Poison Dogs. That was it. You then went into Firebase Z and you had Mimics, you had Manglers, you had the Order, and you had the Firehounds. And it was like, why was there not another map in between that to introduce another one of those? Like, you could have introduced, I mean, don't get me wrong, I know the Mangler isn't exactly new, but there should have been something in between, that's all I'm saying for it. And, like, it was good, because, yeah, then you went into Outbreak, and Outbreak was a fun mode and stuff like that. Could they have done more with the apps? A fucking loot like they could have done. But Outbreak was a lot of fun to play and stuff like that, you know, and I think people forget that. And then you had, was it Mauer came after? I think Mauer came after Firebase, didn't it? I think. Did it? Oh shit, I looked at the beginning of this video and everything, I've now completely forgotten. But I'm pretty certain Mauer comes after, you know, that was a bit more complicated. Then you add in, you know, the Panzers and everything come back into that, obviously, because of being an outbreak. And then you have this map with this motherfucker being the Abomination and stuff like that. And like I said, the difficulty factor is cool. You know, the wonder weapons in this game are amazing. You know, the one thing, I don't know if they ever did put the axe from this map into Outbreak. I'm praying they did. But that's what made Cold War fun to play and stuff. There was so much to do. The Easter eggs were easy to follow and stuff like that. You know, you could do anything in it. You can go for high round attempts. You could go for gun challenges and stuff like that. The one thing this game did well was having a separate multiplayer and zombies upgrade thing. That was good because it gave you a purpose to play them rather than just jumping on, playing with friends, having a laugh. You actually had you could get your own perks and, or you could get camos and upgrade it personally that way and stuff like that. That was cool. It's a cool addition to it, and I do seriously think this game will go down. It will be a game that people do miss. I really do believe that and stuff. I think this game will be one of those that people will think, do you know what? It wasn't actually that bad. Like the multiplayer side of things, yeah, let's just take that into consideration. The campaign's pretty solid, but zombies was really where this game thrived. And I feel that if this game didn't have zombies, would have been dead. But let's wait and see what happens and stuff like that. I mean, I've rambled on now for long enough, and I could literally ramble on all day and stuff like that. But let's just, like, to sum this video up, basically, just me talking absolute rubbish. But I'm gonna continue playing this game. 100% I am. The fact that I'm leveling up in in freaking Vanguard while playing the game previous to that. That's just so stupid in my eyes. But you know what? Maybe I'll jump on Vanguard like tomorrow or something with my mates, and I'll be like level 150 because of just playing this. So, like I said, I'm gonna leave it there and stuff like that. I'll maybe do some more. You'll see more. Definitely, you'll see more Cold War videos like in the background and stuff like that. Absolutely. You know, if I can think of any more topics to talk about in regards to zombies or Call of Duty in general and stuff like that, I will do and everything. I hope you guys have enjoyed, and I will speak to you all in the next video. Peace.